Cultists are trying to wake up the elder gods in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Will you be able to stop them, or will Cthulhu himself finally awake from his long slumber? Hello, and welcome back to Game On. My name is Justin, and today we'll be reviewing a horror-themed board game for October of 2021. Today, we will be taking a look at Pandemic Reign of Cthulhu. This is one of my new favorite games, and I can't wait to tell you guys about it. Today's video is not a Let's Play or a How to Play. This is merely designed to pique your interest, to get you interested in the game, to see if you would like it yourself, to do some more research. Reign of Cthulhu by Z-Man Games uses the Pandemic system. So those who are familiar with Pandemic will feel right at home with this game. However, there are enough changes to the mechanics of the Pandemic engine to throw a bone to jaded or tired players who have grown bored of the straight Pandemic engine. In Reign of Cthulhu, instead of being CDC workers, doctors, sanitation engineers for the medical field, you are instead investigators. And instead of trying to cure diseases and rid the world of 4 different viruses, here we are going around Lovecraftian worlds such as Arkham, Innsmouth, Kingsport, and Dunwich. Instead of fighting off bacteria and viruses, we are trying to kill cultists and Shoggoth. People who are again familiar with the Pandemic system will understand that you don't want gates to open, you don't want more than 3 things in one place at a time, except instead of red, yellow, blue diseases, we'll have cultists, whom of which we don't want to summon elder gods. These elder gods will slowly wake as our gates pop, similar to how cities and areas pop in Pandemic, and also close ties to how 2nd edition Arkham Horror works. So those who have played both of those games will understand some of the verbiage on how this game plays out. Each time you fail, and you have to have an event instead of a night event where you would draw cards to pop open cities and diseases like you would in Pandemic. In this, you have to see where the cultist activity will be. And if you pop, that means you have cultists all over the place, which is really scary. You don't want to mismanage that, and one of the elder gods will wake up. There are multiple elder gods shuffled in the deck, always the last one being Cthulhu that awakens. But that gives you some replayability, because every time an elder god wakes up from a pop, as you would from like Pandemic Standard, when new events happen because of that, an elder god makes the game a lot harder. And you can have multiple elder gods waken, and once Cthulhu awakens, you are done. Gameplay is pretty simple. It's quite easy to understand and pick up, just as any Pandemic engine game really is. Easy to learn, difficult to master. You'll play as your investigators as you walk around these cities and trying to clear off cultists. Each and every investigator has a slightly different ability, but each of them is very helpful. Gain 5 clue cards and go to your closest gate and close it. Close all 4 gates and you've won the game. Just watch out as the elder gods wake up and that deck keeps on getting shuffled back into the main deck. The game will get much harder. Now, I played it with my friends Kevin and Spencer, who are both board game nerds and have played board games multiple times and really know what they're doing. They've all played Pandemic, and we beat this game in about a half an hour. It says on the side of the box it could take about 45 minutes to play, and I could see that. It's just like a standard game of Pandemic. Now, we didn't read any reviews of this going into it. We wanted to see what it was like to just play as ourselves and come out with some different ideas on how we think about the game. So I asked a couple questions about the game just to see what the group thought, and we all thought it was quite thematic. I asked if this was something that we would add to the general rotation of our board games, and 2 of us said yes. Though one did mention that Pandemic Vanilla is actually cheaper than Pandemic Reign of Cthulhu. I bought this game at my favorite local game store for about $50. You can get it a little bit cheaper on websites named after rainforests. But everywhere I've looked, and even at my local game store, the vanilla game of Pandemic is cheaper. So it might be a little bit of an easier pill to swallow just to get Pandemic and not Reign of Cthulhu Pandemic. I then asked the group if this was something that they would break out at a Halloween party. I understand that not every Halloween party is a place where you can just break out a board game and have people play. You gotta have the right crowd and the right group. But is this something that you would break out? And we all kind of agreed that yeah, this is something that we would break out if there was 1 or 2 other people who understood Pandemic. Pandemic is quite an easy system to learn, but you know, at a party, who wants to try to teach a whole group of people how to play a new game? So if 1 or 2 people knew what they were doing, we all decided that we would break this out and play it at a Halloween party. Now, finally, I asked the group, would you buy this game at full price like I did for about $50? Now, obviously, my answer was yes. I mean, I bought it and I liked it enough to where I'm happy I paid about the $50. But the other 2 both said that they would wait for a sale and they would definitely grab it. Board Game Geek gives it a 7.6 out of 10. It equates it a lot to a thematic Pandemic game. So even the group seems to think that Reign of Cthulhu is better than average. Thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you stay tuned for the rest of our October 2021 series, where we'll be talking about a whole bunch of different scary and horror gaming themes. Thank you guys very much for watching again. Like, comment, and subscribe, and game on.